So if we start with Crystal.
Sorry, I was taken
Right.
surprise. I'm not used to these things. Hi there, everyone. My name's Crystal. I put perfume on especially for this call, so I hope you can all smell it. I work for a charity called Promise Works. We are a Somerset charity, and what we do is we train volunteers to become mentors of children and young people from vulnerable backgrounds. And my role is that I'm a case holder. So I'm the case holder for Taunton. So part of my role is to manage volunteer mentors and train volunteer mentors and recruit volunteer mentors and match them with children and young people that are in the Taunton area.
Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, so if we go on to Kit O'Brien.
Sorry, I thought you were going the other way, so I just worked
Sorry.
last and sat back.
We're going around my screen, but I'm not sure which way that is.
There we are. Anyway, caught me unawares. I'm Kit O'Brien. I think I know quite a few people here, but not everybody. So hello to all those I know, and nice to meet those I don't. I'm Kit O'Brien. I'm a solicitor, and I'm a partner at Stokes Partners Solicitors, which is a small and perfectly formed organisation based in Crewe Kern, but looking after clients across the southwest and anywhere else that they need us. I'm the firm's business development partner, which means I do an awful lot of networking. Trish would probably tell all of you that I'm a networking whore, so I now say it before she does. I'm also your friendly neighbourhood divorce lawyer, which is a complete conversation killer usually. I've been doing this sort of family work for nearly 30 years now for my sins, and I love looking after people. I'm looking after them at a very difficult stage of their life when a relationship, short or long, has broken down, and I'm walking beside them as they move towards a life that will certainly be different and that hopefully will in many ways be better. So that's me, Kit O'Brien. As I say, Stokes Partners, we do everything except crime and no win, no fee injury work. And we are proud of the fact that because we are a small firm, we can provide a very personal level of service. What we try to be is the old-fashioned family solicitor, whereas instead of having one solicitor who does all your work, you have one firm that does all your work, so you get the benefit of specialist expertise in a firm that really wants to get to know you as a person and you as your business. So that's me, Kit.
Thanks, Kit. Yep, so next if we have Kath.
Just trying to make sure I'm unmuted. Hello. So I'm Kath Holloway, and I'm from Holloway Insurance Brokers. So we're business insurance brokers, and we have just recently changed our name. So we used to be Holloway and Gauntlet, but now we are the award-winning Holloway Insurance Services. So it's all a good, big, positive move for us. So we focus on all sorts of business, personal indemnity insurance, pretty much everything that you want. But our main point is that we work alongside you all year, so we don't disappear. We're here with you for the whole year. We're sending you lots of relevant information, and also just keeping an eye on how things are going for you, so that if we think that there's the potential that you may have changed your insurance needs, we like to keep with you to make sure that you're fully insured. So we're kind of there for the long run, and we like to get to know everyone really well.
Lovely, thank you, Kath. And Sally Williams.
Hello everyone, nice to see some familiar faces and some new ones. My company is SJM Training, and it's basically an IT training and consultancy company, and I specialise in Microsoft Office training, particularly 365, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Teams, all those good things that a lot of people use. Having done classroom for years, I did do some online training. And now, of course, most of my training is conducted online. And because I don't run very long courses with lots of topics that aren't relevant for people, online sessions are ideal because they can be short, bite-sized, focused on just a particular topic or what you're trying to do, or even troubleshooting sessions on things that you're trying to do in your work and you're finding difficulty with. So that's me, really.
Great, thank you, Sally. Deborah?
Hi everyone, I'm Deborah Hyde, and my business is April People, and we are a people management and HR consultancy. So 3 main threads. The first thread is employee relations. So I would say 80% of my work is going into businesses, hearing very sensitive and complex grievances, investigating disciplinaries, redundancies, that kind of happy work. Then another stream would be employee engagement. So I often go into businesses and do employee engagement focus groups to be able to pull out the areas that the business can work on and improve their culture and engagement. And then the other piece is that I'm a workplace mediator. So they kind of fit the triangle, because obviously if you have great employee engagement, then you tend to have less employee relations issues. And if you have really well managed employee relations issues, then your engagement seems to be nice and high as well. So I'm based in Frome, shortly to be based in Shepton Mallet next year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's going to go ahead fine. And I've been a member of Chamber of Commerce for, well, just this year I joined. So I'm really enjoying meeting lots of new people, new faces. Thank you for welcoming me to this session.
Thank you, Deborah. Carly?
Hi, I'm Carly. My company is Thoroughbred. We've been going for 16 years now, and I still have no idea how a little idea from 16 years is here and going. We work with companies that are slightly off the beaten track or an outdoorsy agricultural element, and do their marketing, whether that's traditional design and print and putting things in the post, or whether it's something slightly different. So yeah, we help people unleash their corporate reputations. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Carly. Gemma?
Hi everyone, I'm Gemma and I'm from a charity called We Hear You. We provide free professional counselling to anybody affected by cancer and life-threatening conditions, which now does include COVID. We support people across Somerset, Baines and Wiltshire, but we are based here in Somerset. We're in Frome as our, well, I say we're based in Frome. We're all scattered around the county at the moment, working from home. So our main offer is one-to-one counselling for children and adults affected by cancer and life-threatening conditions, and usually this would be delivered face-to-face, but back in March we moved all of our services over to virtual, and we've just resumed working with children face-to-face in the schools and also in the community, obviously in a COVID safe way. We work with absolutely anybody affected, so we see anybody ranging from patients themselves to family members, friends, colleagues, absolutely anybody who has been affected. And we also offer no time limit on when people can come to our services. So it could be from point of diagnosis to infinite years later. We very much work on the ethos that our grief or our feelings know no boundaries, so therefore neither does the time limit on our service. So yeah, that's me, that's Gemma from We Hear You.
Great, thank you. Tansy?
Hi, I'm Tansy. I work for Teapot Creative. So we are a creative agency just outside of Langport. We build beautiful websites. We help market those. So we do digital marketing for our clients. We do branding and we also do design. We are essentially just a super friendly creative agency, come up with all kinds of crazy, fancy, brilliant ideas. And it's my lucky job to kind of translate the world of tech and creative design for clients. So I'm an account manager and I absolutely love it. We have a huge range of clients, ranging from startups to major e-commerce, and also a huge range of projects at any point. So we're all completely flat out. Everybody's back from furlough and we're doing really well actually, and just having generally a much lovelier time than obviously a lot of other people at the moment. But we are super friendly, kettle's always on, we drink a huge amount of tea, but we have a lot of fun while we're doing it.
Excellent, thank you Tansy, sounds good. Julie?
Good afternoon. Just wanted to say hi to everybody that knows me and doesn't, and testament to the Somerset Chambers. So many lovely people joined this meeting today, great attendance and some really interesting businesses. So for the people that don't know me, I'm Julie Grant from Blue Loop. My role is Sales and Marketing Manager. We're still trying to celebrate our 20th birthday, but we haven't had any birthday cake this year, unfortunately. We're based in Yeovil, born out of Augusta Westlands, the helicopter manufacturers, providing ITIL service delivery of networks and infrastructure service. So I joined in 2004 when that was their main customer. Subsequent to that, now 20 years later, we've got about 250 corporate customers and about 70 of those have 3-year support contracts. So we look after and support either businesses that have their own IT manager and need an additional pair of hands, or we can be completely your IT for you. But we also strongly focus on cyber security. We class ourselves not as the Blue Ambulance Flashing Light Brigade, need help, but more around planning and being more strategic than that. So we've got 23 staff in Yeovil, but we've got a couple of people based up in London, 2 or 3 that go to Swindon every day. So we cover both the South West and the UK. Julie Grant, over and out. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Julie. And Sarah?
Is that me, Sarah Murray?
Yes, sorry.
Good afternoon, Sarah Murray. I'm chairwoman of Yeovil United Women's Football Club, based in the Somerset area. This is my first time coming into a Somerset chamber, so it's nice to network this way for the first time. We're an independent women's football team. We are in the 3rd tier of the women's game, solely independent. We also have a dual career academy with our players changing from the academy level through to playing the first team now, and our academy start from 8 years old all the way through to the 16. And I'm just looking to network within the community now, just get our name out there and saying how many people know about the women's football game, how many people are coming to support us women. We're women in business, we're women in business, and we're women in football as well. So I'm just looking to raise our awareness and also put an invitation out so when the lockdown lift is in place, lifted, we can safely return back to the stadium, play our games, and also support our women on the field too. So I'd like to extend that invite to each lady today to come and join us at our next opening games in the January of 2021.
Oh, great. Thank you, Sarah. That sounds good.
So, Sarah, can I just ask that you share those details within the chat function? So share your contact details and share the offer. And when we share, send the details out after the event, we can include that in there as well.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Thank you.
Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you. Lindsay? Lindsay from...
Hi, everyone.
Hiya.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
The classic 2020, can you hear me? My name's Lindsay. I work at Somerset Skills and Learning, and we're a very diverse organisation. It's adult learning and training. So things from GCSEs, apprenticeships, traineeships, community learning, mental health qualifications. We've got a whole range of things. So really interesting. Been in this role here 18 months, and I've been in my current role, which is marketing manager, since March. So what time to start a new role? But yeah, it's brilliant. Great place. So just really excited to meet everyone and hear today's speaker. So I've been looking forward to that because I've actually walked past your offices quite a lot. So I'm really interested to hear a bit more about it. So yeah, that's me, Lindsay from Somerset Skills and Learning.
Great, thank you very much. Mel Downing? Well, you're muted, Mel.
Is that better? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, super. Hi everyone, I'm Mel from the Design Hive. We're a branding agency based in Highbridge. We're very similar to Teapot really. We listen and engage with businesses to help them thrive and grow through our range of services, which is graphic design, web design, and printing services. We're actually based inside a signage company. So we are quite lucky in the fact that we can also work on signage, things like vehicle wraps, and then see them come to life right in front of our eyes, which is always nice. This is our 11th year now. We are actually planning on moving so that we can grow and employ again. So that will hopefully be happening very soon. And I think that's probably about it. I mean, we sort of mainly, I suppose, branding is our core. We absolutely love what we do. I mean, I've been doing this for about 20 years now, so I absolutely love it. Couldn't imagine doing anything else. And we just make sure that we build that consistency through from, say, a logo right the way through to business stationery, brochures, website, etc. So that's Mel from the Design Hive.
Great, thank you, Mel. Emma?
Hi there, everybody. Lovely to see some familiar faces, and thanks for the invite onto this, Jen. So I am now, for those of you that know me, I am the Director of Sales now at the Ibis Bridgewater. So new hotel opening at Junction 23 in February next year. 144 bedrooms and a keeper's kitchen and bar. So a really fantastic restaurant concept. And when we can and the government allows, we will be having live acoustic music as part of the offering. So I think it's going to be a really good offering for Bridgewater and Somerset as a whole, really. So it'd be great when I can show you guys around.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to that, Emma. Maria?
Yes, hi, Maria O'Sullivan from Coast Guard. It is lovely to see some familiar faces as well as some new ones. And like some of the people already here, Mel and Julie, we've been in business for over 20 years now, and I can't imagine doing anything else. We're energy brokers, which sounds really grand, but ultimately it's just finding the best deal from suppliers for businesses and negotiating those deals so that businesses are paying as little as possible for their energy, whether it's green, brown, blue electricity, or whether it's gas, or whether it's water, that we can get them a really good deal and put more money on their bottom line rather than on the bottom line of these suppliers who make vast profits as a result of mainly people not entering contracts. So even for residential, for domestic people, people who have their homes, we would recommend that you look at your energy bills and you look online at different tariffs available, because you can save yourself money, and it really takes 15 to 20 minutes, and you could be saving 100 or 200 pounds a year on these things. Whereas for businesses, of course, it's much greater. And we've just saved a new client that's come to us on their electricity on their current offering, which they had through a broker. And we've just saved them £17,000, which literally goes straight on their bottom line. And okay, that's maybe 4% of their total spend, but nevertheless, it's a huge amount of money and goes towards paying wages and so on. And this is what I love about this business, is treating everyone as though this is our company, this is our money that's being affected here, and getting them the best possible customer service from us and also the best deal on the market. We don't charge a management fee or anything like that, but they do pay for their service via their electricity bills. So it's a win-win situation for them. So it's Maria O'Sullivan of Coast Guard. I've put my details on, and I'd love to speak to a couple of you after this meeting.
Brilliant. Thank you, Maria. Kirsty?
Hi, I'm Kirsty Mode from Dome Marketing. We have two distinct sides of the business. My husband's side is the kind of strategy and data side of marketing. So systems, processes, planning, analysis, databases, that side of it. And I work in public relations, so helping brands to tell their story, build their reputation, communicate with their customers and the media and things like that. I work with different types of businesses across different industries, but food and drink is my real passion, and that's where I'm trying to grow my business. So if you know of any food and drink companies who are looking for help, please feel free to point them in my direction. So I'm Kirsty from Dome Marketing. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Trish?
I was just making notes so I didn't forget anything. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I love the way my name looks on this, Trish Genius. So that's what it does on the tin. I basically run a business called Genius PR and Events, which was everything stand-up comedy, entertainment, celebrities, black tie balls and dinners, and business type meetings, everything that we're not allowed to do while we're in the middle of a plague. So the Genius PR and Event side, I've got a handful of really brilliant PR clients who I'm continuing to look after. I only ever have 2 clients at a time, so they get a lot of attention. But during lockdown, I met a guy who developed an app called the Taunton Life app, which is now available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. And it's a digital business directory, so loads and loads of businesses can advertise on their part of the app. And from their part on the app, a potential client can phone them, email them, look at their website, look at all their social media, just straight through the app. But also if they're looking to find a premises, they can click another one and they can find a Google map to go straight to wherever the business may be. So we're adding everything from garages, hairdressers, theatres, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers is another of my catchphrases. And we're putting loads of things on the app that will encourage residents to use it. So we've got weather, we're going to have local radio, podcasts, videos, celebrations. We're having a youth button. We're having a jobs button so people can look for the latest local jobs in Taunton. When the Taunton one is finished, we're then moving out to the rest of Somerset Western Taunton's patch, then up to Bridgewater, over to Yeovil, Western-super-Mare, and just basically working our way across the rest of the UK. And we are currently working on one for Malaga, which is quite good fun, but don't trust me to do your translation, so yay! And Worthing is another one as well. So there is business opportunities for people to run their own app in their own area and make an income from the revenue wherever they are in the UK. But that's all a little bit farther down the line. So yeah, basically all things comedy once the plague is gone. And I got tickets for Sarah Millican this morning, so I'm very happy. So that's Trish from Genius.
Lovely, thank you, Trish. Sophie?
Is that
Hiya.
me, Sophie? Or
oh, sorry, Sophie Foyle.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise there was another Sophie.
Hi everyone, nice to see you all. Lots of people that I know and haven't seen since before lockdown, so I hope you're all keeping well. So I work at ADPR, we're a marketing communications agency, and we help businesses of all sizes with any aspect of their marketing communications. And we know at the moment times are really tough, so we're always happy to have a chat and bounce ideas around. If that's of interest, I'll put my email address in the chat. And I'll also put a link to our website, because we've got lots of free resources on there for small businesses to do it themselves, really, so to do the marketing themselves. So I'll put a link on there, and there'll be some resources that you can check out, which I hope are useful. Thanks, everyone.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. Sorry, next Sophie. Sorry.
Hiya. Yeah, I'm Sophie from the Nelson Trust, the Women's Centre in Bridgewater. So we work with women with multiple complex needs across the Somerset area. So it can be in relation to sort of addiction issues, mental health, being involved in the criminal justice system, anything like that really. I've actually only been at the charity for a couple of months now. And my job role is launching our community engagement program. So we're delivering a series of free training to the community of Somerset Sedgemoor area. And it's funded by Hinkley Point actually, to mitigate the impacts on the nighttime economy. So particularly interested in sort of hotels, bars, clubs, pubs, taxi drivers, but also the wider community. So yeah, I'll put in details about the training somewhere, because we've got dates coming up for after Christmas and the New Year. So it'd be really good to get as many people on as possible. It's really good training. Thanks.
Great, thank you very much. Laura Joyce?
Hi everyone. Yeah, my name's Laura Joyce, and I help people plan for their retirement that they want to have. So I'm sure we've all got a type of retirement in mind, and maybe some things we might want to do when we get to that point. So I help people to really understand what that retirement is and how they're going to get there. And what we're finding is that it's becoming increasingly the case that many people have different streams of income that will support them when they actually get to the point where they no longer want to work or can't work. And I see my role as a long-term relationship I develop with my clients. And my role is really to project manage all those streams of income over a period of time. So to support my clients to deliver the bits that they need to deliver, and then I look after the bits like pensions and things like that. So yeah, I'm looking to speak with anyone who would like to kind of explore their thoughts for retirement and what they would like to happen and how they're going to get there. So I'll put my details in the chat.
Brilliant. Thank you, Laura. And Aisha.
Hello, hi. I am Aisha. I am working with Somerset Business Agency. We are an organisation that is based over in Langport that assists individuals get into self-employment. So that's kind of from conception to trading, and also offering support to SMEs to grow and progress their businesses. So I come largely from a sales background, and I'm working in a new role doing business development and marketing, and hopefully doing that transition over to kind of doing business advice. But I do look forward to getting to know you all a lot better.
Lovely, thank you very much. I think that's everyone. My screen kept shuffling around then, so and that will lead me on nicely to Laura. Sorry, Laura, I didn't ask you to introduce yourself, but I thought we'll save that for when you start.
That's okay. Yeah, I expected that. I think that's all right.
Yeah, so if I introduce then Laura Brown from IntroTweet, who's going to speak for us today, who's going to be talking about, well, I'll let her tell you what she's going to talk to you about, and yeah, I'll hand over to you, Laura.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. So hopefully my PowerPoint will pop up, and then I think my face will be somewhere on the side, so you'll get to see me and my PowerPoint, hopefully. Oh, so hopefully everyone can see that okay. Brill. So I'm Laura. I'm one of the directors of IntroTweet. I'm going to be talking to you today just about sort of IntroTweet's story, really. So how it came from sort of almost 8 years ago, me having the idea and creating IntroTweet, to then employing the sort of 3 people we do today. So you can see there Pete, the other director of IntroTweet, and Janine, who we employed a couple of years ago now. If my camera goes off while I'm talking, which hopefully it won't, it will actually be Pete's face, I think, that pops up as my little picture. So don't be alarmed if that happens, but hopefully it won't. Okay, so this is roughly kind of what I'm going to speak to you a little bit about today. And there's going to be some time for questions at the end, if anyone has any. So first of all, I'm just going to sort of share a bit about my sort of story, really. So how IntroTweet was created, and a bit about my background, and just sort of how I got IntroTweet really to where it is today. A little bit about who IntroTweet is now, and share a little of our sort of future plans. Our future plans have changed a little bit due to coronavirus and what's going on at the moment. I'm sure many of us have maybe had plans for the future, or different things we were going to launch that may have been scrapped completely, or you've maybe changed your business growth direction. So we definitely have a bit at IntroTweet, so I'm going to share these ideas with you. I'm going to discuss a bit about how we've adapted during the pandemic. So we have been lucky on one hand, the same as sort of Tansy mentioned, where actually digital marketing and social media has become even more of a real lifeline for businesses. I think over the past couple of years anyway, it's changed. It used to be people were on social media because they think they should be and everyone's doing it, so why not? Now people know that businesses know they need to be on social media, but I think especially during lockdown, social media has been one of the only places people can advertise themselves. So we've been lucky on that respect, where actually our business has kept kept alive. But also we have successfully made a few adaptations to our business, which have really helped our business to continue growing and thriving during the pandemic. So I'll share a few kind of thoughts with you there about what we've done. And then to end, I'm just going to share a few of our top tips with you for social media that hopefully you can take away, you know, from this afternoon and just start making a bit of a difference to your business's social media accounts. Okay, so my story really at IntroTweet. So some of you may know this if I've met you before, but my background is as far as removed from being the director of a social media business as you can go almost. So I did a music degree at Cardiff Uni, did a year's teacher training, and then was a secondary school music teacher for a year. When I was teaching, you know, I loved the kids, I loved music, etc. But it became quite obvious that the teaching profession wasn't necessarily for me. I was commuting sort of 2 hours a day from Cardiff up to the Welsh valleys where I taught, and actually became sort of quite miserable with it really, and just didn't enjoy the commute, didn't enjoy teaching as a profession, and just felt I couldn't sort of give my all really and be a brilliant teacher. I always have to be a bit careful when I talk about teaching as a profession, because whenever you speak to someone, their mum or husband is a teacher and loves it. So obviously I'm not slagging off the profession, but it wasn't for me. You know, I'm not a miserable person at all. I'm quite positive and upbeat, and it was sort of bringing me down. So it was time to leave. And Pete was who's one of the directors of IntroTweet. He was relieved when we're together, if no one knows. He was relieved when I chose to leave teaching, as it just kind of wasn't for me. So while I was teaching, I did a bit of social media management actually for Pete's parents' business. They wanted to launch part of their business online. So by creating the social media accounts for them and running their social media, I realized that there was a need for businesses to get help with social media. They were on it because they maybe felt they should, but didn't really know what to say, how to say it. So I saw there was a definite need. So once I made the decision to leave teaching, IntroTweet was created. And first of all, when I created IntroTweet, you know, I did my logo on Paint and just kind of picked some random birds and put some blue behind it. Probably the graphic designers are cringing, but that was sort of how it started. And then knew from experience by helping Pete's family's business that hopefully I could make it work. Support was sort of a bit limited for me when it came to sort of my side of the family. And I think my family is supportive now, my family are great, but no one within my family is self-employed, no one runs their own business. And I think there was sort of a complete lack of understanding about what self-employed means and running your own business. And there was quite a sort of negative vibe about it, sort of what if it fails, what if it doesn't work, you've wasted your music degree and everything else. When I first started, so a few months into IntroTweet, when I was a complete new startup, when I was sort of, you know, making £20 and then £50, and, you know, that's brilliant at the time, but obviously not enough for you to live on. I had a job as well where I did piano and singing teaching. I worked in the musical theatre school on Saturdays. And actually I heard my dad tell a family friend that they kind of asked what me and my sisters were doing. And my sister, one's a nurse, one's a solicitor, I was a teacher, so we all had kind of proper job sort of thing. And the family friend asked what I was doing, and I heard my dad say that I didn't have a job, that I was doing nothing. And obviously at the time I actually had 3 jobs, because I had IntroTweet, then I was doing singing teaching, and then the musical theatre school. So why you didn't say then, I'm not sure, but that kind of shows the sort of lack of support really from sort of my family's end, just I think from a lack of understanding about being self-employed. But I came across this quote sort of a couple of years into business, and actually, so what if I fall? Oh, but darling, what if you fly? And think actually that's a great quote kind of to have as a business starting up. But actually every time as a business owner, when you decide to employ someone else, or you launch a new service, or you do something slightly different in your business, just trying to keep positive and optimistic. And I knew right from the start that I could get IntroTweet working. I knew there was a need for it and just had to make it work. And I was on a massive sort of learning curve in terms of business. As I said, I was a music teacher. That was my, you know, the voice, singing was my sort of speciality then. And so actually had to sort of very quickly adapt. And my motivation sort of right at the start for getting IntroTweet to work, to be totally honest, was just nothing was going to make me go back to teaching, and nothing was going to make me be a supply teacher in the Welsh Valleys. You know, that was nothing, I wouldn't have gone back to that. But obviously then the motivation for success very quickly changed to just wanting to build a great business, and also to build great social media accounts for my clients. So it's still the case now that when we take on a new client, we really care about their business, and if they get new inquiries, new leads, we're sort of as excited, sometimes probably more excited for them than they are. We really care about the success of our clients, and that's a real kind of driver for the success of our business. And actually IntroTweet, I managed to sort of give up my sort of music teaching, piano teaching jobs after 6 months, because I sort of threw myself in. I got a lot of work via my own social media, which obviously, you know, the power of social media, and I did lots of networking. So I joined BNI, and I know there's various opinions about BNI, and my opinion has changed of it now, but actually by joining that networking organisation, I very quickly turned from someone sort of turning up with my business card, sort of not really knowing what on earth is going on, to then, by the time I'd been there a few months, I was then a sort of full-time business owner. So sort of networking really helped me at the start, and still does. And then 2 years in, I got to the point where sort of IntroTweet needed a bit of help, needed a bit of support. As with lots of us and all of our businesses, obviously we care about the work we're producing. So we never want to be in a case where, be it the case that we're taking on too many clients and then the work starts to suffer. So I was starting to get, noticing I was starting to get busy. I needed a bit of support. 2 years in, Pete, who's my partner, he joined the business, and we were then a partnership. So that was quite a big deal at the time, because obviously IntroTweet was my sort of sole income. And then Pete left. He was a secondary school teacher as well. But yeah, so he left, joined me, and then we were a partnership. And then a couple of years ago, we employed Janine, who's a social media manager with us at IntroTweet. So that's sort of a bit about where we are today. We're in July, we celebrate 8 years in business, and we've got some sort of great plans for the future, which I'm going to share with you a bit more in a moment. But this is also a quote I came across probably not that long ago, actually, which says, "If you aren't now embarrassed by your first website, you waited too long to launch." And I just always found that I always have a bit of a chuckle at it, because obviously I told you my first logo was just created by paint. My website, I use a platform called Weebly. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. So my website was sort of introtweet.weebly.com. And I think I probably didn't even know you could change that or afford it or know how to do it. But obviously it's all just a massive learning curve. And I think this then is another quote that can sort of play a part in business even today, where obviously not launching something when it's not ready, but just kind of not waiting for perfection all the time. Launch things, get feedback, get clients' opinions, get people using it, and then obviously if you need to adapt, you then go from there. I don't know if anyone also had sort of introtweet.weebly.com or whether it was just me when I first started. Okay, so sort of who is IntroTweet now? So we now have an office in Taunton Town Centre. And actually that's been a really great thing for us sort of marketing wise, as I think, was it Lindsay, I think, sorry if I've got that name wrong, but who said you walked past our office, and actually we get a lot of work now from people just walking past our office. And we get quite a lot of training, lots of management clients actually we've had for a few years now, a couple of years now. So actually, especially when in normal times when the cricket's on, and obviously we've got the new development happening in Riverside, our offices walk past a lot, and it's quite a busy road. So actually that's been a sort of great move for us here at IntroTweet. We've also kind of won various awards along the way. We've won a couple of awards for business growth and for innovation. We also won the Somerset Business Award for Business of the Year, sort of 1 to 10 employees. And where we are now really as a business, and where we always have been, is that we just specialise solely in social media. So this is one of our sort of unique selling points really at IntroTweet, where we have chosen really just to stay specialists in social media. And there's often been a sort of, people may ask us about websites or graphic design or newsletters, but actually we prefer as a business to specialise in social media. As all of us know, social media and Facebook especially is just changing so much. So we feel actually specialising solely in social media kind of sets us apart a little bit, and actually we prefer to refer clients who ask for other sort of specifics to other local companies. So we kind of do social media management. That's a big sort of core of our business. And when I started IntroTweet, this was what I did as social media management. But when I started, it was more sort of short kind of booster services, I used to call it, for people. And then a client asked, how much do you charge just to do this monthly, you know, for a year or more, etc. So actually listening to the client, listening to their sort of feedback, is then, that is the sort of 50-50 main part of our business now, where we run social media for clients and people sign up for a year, etc. at a time. We also do social media training and workshops. So me and Pete are both former teachers. So we, you know, teaching wasn't what we hated about being a teacher. So actually we now do a lot of teaching, either sort of one-to-one or sort of big workshops. And we've had some great opportunities that have come to the business. So we had a great contract with the English Cricket Board, where we travelled the country training all of their sort of regional teams and the sort of marketing teams in all things social media. So that was a great thing for our business at the time. Personally, I think I was sort of 6 or 7 weeks pregnant at the time and had horrendous sickness. So it wasn't quite so fun for me personally, but on a sort of business front, that was brilliant. And it's a great relationship we've kept going today. We also were flown to Monaco by one of our clients to deliver a social media workshop for a company called Burgess Yachts. So they sell super yachts to millionaires or billionaires, or, you know, it's a totally different environment for us. But obviously that was a brilliant opportunity. And one that we hope to replicate again if we can. But obviously now online training is something that is forming a really big part of our business, and that's one way we've adapted during coronavirus, and I'll speak to you a bit about that in a moment. And then we've got some sort of plans for growth moving forward. So one of these plans is to just really focus on the online side of our business. So we do online training. The plan is ultimately to get all of our workshops online, so people can just kind of go onto our website and buy, you know, our Facebook ads workshop, for example. And also we've got a sort of aftercare service. So when people are trained by us, they can join our sort of school of social media. The aim, we've built that a lot during coronavirus. So our aim is to kind of really push the online side. If you'd asked us sort of a couple of years ago what our plans were for growth, it would have been sort of keep building all of our clients, and then, you know, we'll employ again and employ again. And if we could clone Janine, who we employ, we would, and we'd have just continued to do that. But actually, you know, we will employ again, and I'm sure we will. But actually, because of coronavirus, because of that pandemic, I think sometimes we've just thought, God, if we did employ 10 people, just how much scarier this situation may have been. So we plan to kind of build the online side a bit more, and this sort of magical passive income that everyone talks about. And then potentially as well, in the sort of longer term, franchising is potentially something we're looking into as a business. So some of the things that were at the bottom of our to-do list in terms of growth have just kind of changed around a bit due to coronavirus and just sort of having to adapt a bit as a business. So in terms of sort of how we've adapted, when it first came to coronavirus and to lockdown, one of the things we really tried to do was just sort of stay calm to start off with. Obviously there was a lot of sort of panic around in the business community. which obviously completely understandable. But we had some clients for management who were shops, who were pubs, who were events businesses. Obviously, their business sort of stopped overnight. So we did have clients sort of emailing, wanting to maybe delay some training, wanting to pause some of their services, and just kind of stayed calm for that sort of first week and just kind of saw where we were. I was still actually on maternity leave at the time, so sort of came back a bit earlier and sort of sorted everything, tried to sort of help and sort everything out, but just stayed calm and just kind of dealt with the situation as and when it arose. But one of the first things we did was just moved our training online. So management, social media management is a big part of our business, but training is just as much. Face to face, and we travelled all over the country doing the workshops. So obviously that was something that came to an abrupt end. So we knew we had to just get our training online. This was something that had been on our to-do list for ages. I'm sure, like lots of us, there's some items that just never move on your to-do list. But actually, obviously the pandemic brought that right up to the top. And actually all it took was just a couple of hours of having a really good conversation about how it could work. And obviously the power of Zoom, the power of technology, very quickly we got our training online. And actually now we do more training weekly now than we did before. And obviously now we're not traveling. So we used to spend a lot of time, a lot of money staying in hotels and petrol and driving here, there and everywhere, which we enjoy, but actually just now being able to come to this room, do a 3-hour training session, whether it's in Aberdeen or Cardiff or Surrey or wherever, actually there's big benefits to that for both our clients and for us. We're also very lucky that during the pandemic, we applied for a Heart of the Southwest business grant, where we wanted to get all of the equipment that we needed to do our online training. So we were successful in that. So we were able to get a sort of proper light, a proper camera, microphone set up, just so our online training could be as good as possible. Now online training is forming such a big part of our business. Obviously, to start off with, we did it a little bit via our webcam on our laptop and things like that, but obviously it's just not quite as good, the picture quality. If people are signing up for an online training with us, it needs to be as good and professional as possible. So now we're sort of in a great place with that. We're actually, if we got another great opportunity from the English Cricket Board or whatever, however big the business is, we know we've got the technology, we've got the all the technology ready that we can host a training. And we can do trainings for 1 person or 30 people, all via Zoom, and have done so. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a sort of online product, which is our School of Social Media. And actually this has seen a greater uptake during the pandemic. I think because training is now online, people actually want to keep in touch that little bit more. So this is basically just a sort of paid aftercare service, all run via a Facebook group, where we do sort of live videos and workshops into that. And also we just continued to kind of think big as a business. We always set goals, we always plan, we have sort of weekly planning meetings about all of our clients and how many trainings we want to try and pick up and how we're going to achieve that. And we just continued doing that. And, you know, we didn't try and pretend coronavirus wasn't happening, but we tried to kind of stay as normal as possible while adapting our services. This is just a sort of some of the kit. And a few people have messaged us to say, what ring light have we got? And I've been sending Amazon links left, right and centre. So this just kind of shows our light and microphone and camera and our sort of setup. Also during coronavirus, as I said, we launched our training online and obviously promoted that. But we also wanted to sort of give something back to the community. So once it became apparent and everything sort of calmed down and it was obvious that our business was okay and we could continue to grow and continue to be a business, we wanted to also kind of find a way of sort of giving back to the community a little bit. So we volunteered with the Coronavirus Community Help Group, and we set up their Twitter and Instagram and ran that for them. And we had a great testimonial from Natalie, who's one of the founders, just sort of thanking us for, at a time when everyone was apart, just how nice it was for us to help them sort of build on their community and just sort of bring everyone together. We also ran our Tweet Over Coffee event. So a few of you I know have come along to these. So these are basically sort of networking events, but all under a sort of social media umbrella, really. So you meet local businesses, but we just share all the latest social media news and updates. And they're paid events that we run in company, which I almost pointed out, it's literally out the window there. But we decided to run these for free and still do these during the pandemic. And actually we've had lots of visitors sort of thank us for doing that. And actually it was quite a lifeline for them to, whilst they were homeschooling and running their business and just dealing with a global pandemic, that actually they could have some normality, albeit online, but some normality to just kind of see us, see other people, and just kind of chat and keep learning. So that was something we were pleased to do. We also did sort of pay what you can tickets to our workshops, and obviously some people paid, some did half price, some did free, and that's completely fine. And it was just partly us kind of giving back to the community, but also just making sure that we stayed visible as a business, that we were very, very much still in business, and just making sure people knew that. Also, we worked hard to just continue our sort of strong client relationships. So we have a good relationship with our clients. We're speaking to them a lot, whether it's via WhatsApp or email, just to sort of share social media content. And actually, we continued this through the pandemic. And actually, that was great, where some people would email us in March when it all sort of kicked off. They wanted to maybe delay their training for a month until their staff were all set up working from home, but maybe they offered to still pay us now or something so we could have our cash flow. We also helped our clients by, if they'd sort of paid up front but wanted to pause their service for a bit, we would sort of happily do that. Even our clients, when they were paused, we sometimes would still do some posters for them to promote their sort of online services, and we just try to help as much as you can. And I think this is a great quote which I've got on here by Charlie Mackesy, just about the importance of sort of being kind. And actually I think that's quite sort of underrated almost in business. So actually, if you're just kind and a nice person, and you have a great relationship with your clients, just how important that can be in a global pandemic, but also just in business. Okay, so just to end, I'm just going to share a few sort of social media tips for you. So sort of during lockdown, post-lockdown, hopefully, touch wood, when that happens in March or April. But tips really that you can use whenever, really. So the first tip is just to make sure you show up and you're present on social media. So whether your business is still really busy or whether things have sort of taken a bit of a back seat during the pandemic, making sure you're still showing up on social media. So most social media platforms now are run by these sort of the devil that's the algorithm that chooses who sees your content, etc. So if you're not posting, Facebook, Instagram, etc., just kind of write you off a little bit and your content won't be shown to many people. So making sure you're still posting, whatever that may be, whether it's you promoting your business or whether it's you maybe promoting others and sort of spreading the shop small, shop local message that's so important at the moment. Just making sure you're still present and you're still posting. And actually, if you've got a Twitter account or whatever that hasn't been posted on for 5 years or something, it may be time to delete it and get rid of it. Obviously, that may be the first time someone comes across your business, your sort of 5-year-old Twitter account. So just kind of considering showing up. The second tip, maybe if you can use social media to give back a little bit. So decide what you've got to give back. And that maybe could be expertise. Could you do a live video to your followers that shares some top tips, shares some expertise? Can you use your social media to promote others? Can you do a giveaway? Can you promote a charity? What can you kind of use social media for? Rather than always just promoting your business, can you use it to sort of give back a little bit to the community? Obviously, that's a great thing to do, but also there's that's kind of trendy and a real appetite for that at the moment. So that will get high engagement levels. And as we know, engagement is what you're always looking for on social media. Third tip, making sure you use all the features of social media. So I mentioned then about using live video. Live video has seen a massive uptake during the pandemic. There are even people that used to be terrified of live video, that actually the now they could sort of speak face to face to people and get that human contact a little bit, albeit online, but get a bit of contact. Lots of people are much more likely to do live video. So trying to do that. Facebook has a function where you can share a COVID-19 update. So if you're sharing an update about that you're reopening, you've got a new event, your office hours have changed, if it's to do with COVID and changes to do with that, you can mark a Facebook post as a COVID-19 update, and it will notify all of your likers that you've shared a post, which obviously is going to see higher engagement levels. Also on Facebook, you can now run events where people pay you to join the event, and once they've paid, they can join your live video. So there's lots of features that social media gives you. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but social media is on your side. It does want you to promote your business. So just kind of looking at what's there and seeing what you can use. Tip 4, give your social media a little audit. So especially if you are a little bit quieter now, having a look at your social media, like you're viewing your business for the first time, like you're a client or a potential client that's never met you, never heard about your business. The first time they see you is your Facebook page. Is it clear what you do from your Facebook page? Are you happy with the bio and the cover photo? You may have written your sort of bio 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It may not even be true anymore, but having a little look about how you're coming across. And lastly, we do recommend having a go at Facebook ads if you can. So especially maybe this might be post lockdown, if you've got an event, if you've got a new service, if you've got something you really want to share with your audience. Facebook ads is actually really efficient, really cost effective. So you don't need to spend very much money to do it. The more you spend, the more people you will reach, sort of in summary, but you can reach a really targeted audience. So, for example, if you run a beauty salon in Taunton, you can promote your new opening event or new service to women based in Taunton who are between 30 and 50 that are interested in self-care, spas, etc. You can get really sort of into the nitty-gritty. And we really do recommend using Facebook ads as a real effective way to market. So that might be worth having a little look into. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my sort of IntroTweet story and a few tips, but I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone's got any. I'll just stop the screen share if I can. There we are.
I have. It's not so much a question, Laura, an observation. I think we met literally as you launched IntroTweet with that logo and everything when we used to be members of 4N. Is that right?
Well, yeah, but I think IntroTweet had been going for a couple of years before 4N.
Ah, right.
But we probably did have a probably our logo wasn't great, but Mel, where is Mel on the screen? Mel Downing designed our logo.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It's lovely watching it grow. And well, if I wasn't there for the beginning of your journey, you were certainly there for the beginning of mine, because that was my first foray in.
Brilliant.
And it's just been lovely watching you grow and get uber successful. And just
thank you. It's nice.
Ethan wasn't able to join the call.
No, thank goodness. No, he's at his grandparents today. So
excellent. I'll shut up again, but lovely to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Anyone got a question, or can I throw one into the mix? Oh no,
I've got one. Oh, yep, me.
Yep, go on, Emma.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, well, we're opening a new hotel. We haven't got our social media set up yet, and I'm just wondering do you have to use professional imagery? Because we will not have anything until we're open and polished. So it's very difficult to start promoting ourselves until we've got all of that, which could be too late.
No, you don't need to use professional imagery. I think with social media, because people are used to the fact that everyone kind of takes photos on their phone, everyone does live videos while sort of walking around. Obviously, you want the photos to be as good as you can, but actually iPhones take brilliant photos now, and actually on social media, when you share content that's a bit more behind the scenes, it's a bit more personal, that's you setting up, it's a bit more fun, actually people like to see that. So no, don't wait for professional images, and as you said, it's too late. You don't want to launch your Facebook page to no one with all these professional images. You want to be building it now, so actually when you come to open the doors, you've got a great presence. So no, don't wait.
Yeah, which is what I'm trying to tell my marketing team.
Okay, I can email you a paragraph or something if you like, if it would help.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay.
I think Kath's got a question.
Thank you. I was wondering, how busy do you think you should be on social media? And I mention that because, for example, my daughter's ballet teacher is on every day, all the time, and I tend to just ignore an awful lot of what she does, because I know she'll always be on there. And the trouble is, sometimes I skip the important stuff because I'm busy ignoring her advertising again. And similarly, at the same time, should you be on there every day? I think we are pretty much. We do Facebook, LinkedIn. We don't do a lot of the younger stuff because my daughter is horrified at the thought of us getting onto any of the things that she's on. But yeah, so just wondering sort of how much is too much and how much is enough, do you think?
Well, we do recommend posting daily, if you can, but also only if you've got content that's actually worth sharing, and that's really interesting. Obviously, I get your daughter's ballet teacher must have been sharing content that maybe starts to slip off and isn't actually that interesting for you to have sort of switched off and then to be missing the important information. So making sure you're consistent really is what we say. So we recommend daily if you've got great content to share. If not, just making sure you're consistent, as in you're not having big gaps in between what you're posting. But yeah, what you don't want to be in a situation is where you're posting multiple times a day and people actually start to get a bit sick of you. You actually want it to be the opposite, where what you're sharing is so good that people might even turn on notifications for every time you post. You know, that's the aim really. But yeah, maybe it sounds like she's on there slightly too much if that's the case.
Thank you, Kath. Anybody else? Jen, you wanted to ask something.
I think it's stories. Obviously, they now appear on pretty much all the different platforms. Can you talk about the value of those? Because I haven't quite got my head around them yet.
Yeah. So stories, we think really are most beneficial on Instagram, and Instagram is the only platform really that has properly sussed a story and got it to be the most successful. So stories have just launched on Twitter, or they're called fleets. Obviously they're very new, and actually there's hardly any function. So I think at the moment people are sort of ignoring them a little bit at the moment. Facebook stories are pretty much the only thing Facebook have ever launched that have sort of flopped a little bit. But actually on Instagram, we say you're not really on Instagram if you're not sharing stories. So this is because when you go onto the Instagram app on your phone, stories are the little sort of circle icons that appear at the top of the screen. And stories basically last for 24 hours. And they're encouraging people to sort of take action now and really kind of do whatever you're asking them to do. So people watch one story on Instagram and then are led to the next and the next and the next. And then most people then get their Instagram fill by the stories and aren't actually scrolling through the feed that much. Why this is because Instagram stories have loads of features. So you can tag other businesses, you can add a product from your shop, you can add your location. So for example, if we shared a story, we put our location as Taunton, all of our followers would be able to watch our story, but so would everybody in Taunton whose iPhone or whatever said that they were located in Taunton. You're just added to the wider story. So Instagram really have got it sussed with stories. So I think that's the only platform at the moment. I think that you really need to make them part of your plan. For the moment, you can just ignore the others a bit. But as always, social media is constantly changing. So in a week's time, I might be telling everyone to use flutes all the time, but not at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from anybody yet, Crystal?
I just wanted to add that I co-host a Twitter hour, which is called Taunton Hour, on a Monday night. So if you ever want to promote any of your businesses, tweet within, so it's Taunton Hour, 8 till 9. You can find us on Twitter, so you can promote, you know, the new hotel in Bridgewater and things like that. So it's quite a good little, basically what a Twitter hour is the Twitter host where retweets your tweets, and a lot of people network and things like that. So that's always a good thing to watch out for if you fancy promoting your business and things like that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Are you able to put details in the chat? You already, all right. Brilliant. Any others? I personally thought that was really inspiring, Laura, and really good story, and especially the things you were saying about, to begin with, you know, well, not disbelief, but the lack of support, I suppose, in the business. I found it really interesting. Yeah, it's really,
thank you. That's great.
Really nice to learn more about you.
That's okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, excellent. So if there's no other questions, what we will do then, obviously, as I said, to start with, we'll send out a thank you to everybody, and we'll put in all the links that have been discussed today, and everybody's contact details, if that's all right with everyone. Jen, do you want to take a quick picture before we...
I've taken hundreds of pictures.
Oh, have you?
But if you want to know what everyone's posing, that's brilliant. We can all sort of hair out and smile and stuff.
Oh dear.
Right, so let's see what happens. Yeah, no, I've been taking them throughout. I quite often do. Excellent. So let's go for it. 1, 2, 3. Can we all do something a bit more fun than smiling at the camera? Can we
maybe waves?
The Christmas edition. And Trish, can't wait for your one. Are you ready?
Oh.
Right, let's work it out. Perfect.
Great, thank you.
What's going on, Trish?
I can't wait for. Is she round? Trish round? Okay. I'm waiting for the Christmas outfit for our Christmas Let's Network. I can't wait for Trish to turn up in that.
I've got my mother Christmas outfit already.
That was the first time I met you, Trish. Yes, I don't think you remember though, but yeah, so it was the first time I met you.
I meet people all the time, and the first thing I say is, have we met before? And they go, oh God, we've met hundreds of times.
It was at Tweet over mince pies, it was.
Ah. Oh my goodness. I think I was trashed because I'd been to a free Christmas party before, where I was the only person dressed as Mother Christmas. And everyone else.
I'll be getting that picture out again for the next Tweet over mince pies or coffee event.
So we do actually have, so it's been brought up, our Tweet over coffee events that we do that we're running for free. We have a Tweet over mince pies, which usually is a company, and obviously there's mince pies and Christmas hats, and Trish is in her Christmas outfit. Obviously this time it's online, but it's completely free of charge. It's on Wednesday, December the 9th, 10 till 12. So if anyone wants to join, it's just free, so let me know and I can send you the Eventbrite booking link.
I'm pretty sure I've booked. Please message me if I haven't.
I think you have. I think you're always first, Trish, so that's okay.
Oh, I really miss meeting people. I miss proper networking and being a networking whore, as Kit mentioned earlier. And Alistair, who's not allowed here because he hasn't got boobs, he works for Somerset Chamber of Commerce, and he always says that one of his favourite photographs of meeting me is when I plastered him in lipstick kisses. You're quite safe. You're quite safe behind Zoom screens. Don't worry.
When you say Tweet of mince pies, is that, so where would we find that? Is that going to be a Twitter thing or Zoom?
So yeah, you book a ticket via Eventbrite, and then when you book, you get a link to join our Facebook group, and it's run by a Facebook Live. So we do a live video, sort of networking, chatting, sharing all the latest social media news and tips, a few activities, and you don't need to be on Twitter to join, but yeah, just a bit of fun.
We can get the link and perhaps put it in the chat or send it out afterwards.
Yeah.
Do we have to have a mince pie competition so you can bring the biggest?
Well, we were trying to think how can we get mince pies into that. So I think we will have to do something like that. So do a taste test of different brands, or yeah, we'll definitely have to do something. But that's a good idea.
Sorry, Laura, do you have to be on Facebook for that? You said
yes,
it was,
yeah,
okay.
it's via Facebook Live. So, oh no, can you create an account just to join?
Convince me.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Yes, we'll put that in the chat and share that. The other thing I'll just before we wrap up, our next event of this kind, the next ladies event, will be on February the 10th, and we'll send again a link. We'll put it in the chat, but it'll come out again via the email, so you can book onto that one. And we've got our Christmas Let's Network, which will be on the 16th of December. And over half the spaces have already gone for that. So again, we'll put the link for you to book onto that one as well. But thank you ever so much, and thanks for being kind to me on my first
Laura,
first one. Hello.
You've been very good, and I'm sorry for being a bit of a cow at the beginning. I just winded you up.
No, you're fine.
If you could check that I'm booked in on that Christmas one, that would be very useful.
I think you are, but yeah, I'll double check.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Laura, sorry, can I just one more quick thing, just while I'm on here and all you lovely ladies are here. At the moment, we're looking for any donations for our women over Christmas. The week leading up to Christmas, we're going to be dropping like gifts and a warm meal to all our women we work with. Just if anyone knows of any businesses or anyone that might be able to donate anything, then drop me an email. They'd really appreciate it, especially this year after such a hard year for everyone.
Yes, at all.
What was that, sorry?
Working alongside CCF, Community Council for Somerset.
I'm not sure actually. It's Gemma, our centre manager, that is running it. Possibly, yeah.
But then there was the lady at the last networking event we were at, catch up at 3 o'clock, that was asking for donations for local charities. I can't remember who that was. Can you remember?
I'll have a look. CC.
It maybe Sophie and Kath, maybe it's worth having a conversation after the event. If Kathy, you have some information, it'd be quite useful, I imagine, for Sophie
Yeah,
to
that'd be good.
pick up if that's good. I think hopefully you've shared your contact details, and obviously Laura will.
No, absolutely. I'll pick it with. I'm sure I've got yours down there, so I'll catch it with.
Thanks, Laura, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and thank you, Laura. Yeah, it was an excellent speech, and thank you, everybody. Nice to see you all.
Yeah,
thank you, Laura. You did really well.
Yeah,
thank you.
See you guys soon.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.